everyone, welcome. So, today, we're going to talk about something we all use literally every single day, but probably don't think much about: India's banking system. And trust me, the story behind it is pretty amazing. Think about it. That simple scan you do to pay for your chai, it feels like magic, right? Just a few years ago, this was almost unheard of. Now, it's just normal. This little scan has totally changed the game. But how did we even get here? To really get it, we need to hop in a time machine and go way, way back. Back to an India that looked nothing like this. All right, let's dive in. Our story begins long, long before any of the modern banks we see today were even a thought. Okay, so look at this. Finance in India isn't some new thing. Its roots go deep. We're talking money lending all the way back in the Vedic period. And they even had these cool things called Hundis, which were kind of like the original checks. Then, of course, the British came and set up the first formal banks. This all eventually led to the big one, the creation of the Reserve Bank of India, or RBI, in 1935. Every single one of these steps was a building block for what we have now. So, after 1947, India is independent. But we had this massive challenge, right? The banking system that existed only really worked for the rich and powerful. The new goal was huge. How do you build a banking system for everyone? And they tackled this in 3 big stages. First up was consolidation. Basically, they took a bunch of smaller, weaker banks and merged them to create fewer but much stronger ones. Super smart. Next, the really big one, nationalization. This is where the government stepped in and said, hey, banks aren't just for profit, they're tools to build our nation. And then came the 90s with a wave of reforms that opened everything up and got us ready to compete on the world stage. Yeah, that nationalization part was absolutely key. The government literally took over the biggest banks. Their mission changed overnight. It wasn't just about making money anymore. It was about serving every single Indian citizen. And here's a great example of that mission in action. The whole point was to have a bank in every single town, every village, every corner of the country. And the State Bank of India, or SBI, was the powerhouse that made it happen. Its network is just massive. Oh, and while we're on the topic of the government and money, here's a little secret for you. You know the 1 rupee note? The RBI actually doesn't print that one. It's issued directly by the government of India. Cool, right? A little piece of trivia you can use. All right, let's jump forward in time to the 1990s. This decade was a total game changer. Suddenly, a whole new world of reforms opened up. And for customers like us, it meant one amazing thing: choice. So you basically had 2 teams to choose from. On one side, you've got your public sector banks, like SBI. They're backed by the government, and their main goal is social good. On the other side, you've got these new, slick private banks like HDFC. They're all about profit, top-notch service, and cool new ideas. And this competition, it changed everything for us, the customers. But there was still one giant problem. Even with all these new banks, millions and millions of Indians had no bank account at all. So how do you reach them? The answer wasn't more branches. The answer was technology, a full-blown digital revolution. And get this, today, 87% of us use fintech. 87%. That is one of the highest adoption rates on the planet. It just goes to show how ready we were to jump into the digital age. Now, this digital highway didn't just appear out of nowhere. It was built piece by piece, like Legos. First, we got systems like NEFT and RTGS for bigger bank transfers. Then came IMPS, which let us send money instantly from our phones 24/7. See how each one was a step up? They were all building towards something huge. And that final piece of the puzzle, the one that changed everything, was UPI. It was just brilliant. So simple, so fast, and so powerful that it literally put a bank in every single person's pocket. And that brings us right back to where we started, that simple QR code. But now, when you look at it, you don't just see a code, right? You see this incredible journey of history, smart policies, and amazing technology that makes it all possible. So what do banks really do? Beyond just holding our money, there's this fancy term for it: financial intermediation. But don't worry, it's super simple. Think of a bank like the heart of the economy. It takes in all the savings from people like us, and then it pumps that money out to people who need it to grow, people who want to buy a home, start a business, or get an education. Banks are literally what keeps the economy's blood flowing. So, the most important thing to remember is this. Your bank account is so much more than just a place to stash your cash. It's your ticket, your personal connection to the entire Indian economy. Every rupee you save helps build something somewhere. It's pretty powerful when you think about it.
So from those ancient Hundis all the way to instant UPI payments, what a journey, huh? The story of Indian banking is just incredible. It really makes you stop and think, what's next? What do you think the next big banking revolution will look like?